Yo, yo, yo,
We back
yo,
in this
yo,
thing. Another
yo.
mental
Hey,
health. Where we back in this thing.
mhm.
Let's get it. So we back again with another week.
Another
We
one.
got my sister,
Drum roll, please.
my coworker.
Mm-hmm.
She's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's very talented.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nikki, let's get it.
Let's get
Hey,
it! What's
hey,
going on?
welcome.
What
What's
is
up,
going
y'all?
on? What is up?
Welcome.
Yeah,
You feel that energy?
yeah, I feel it.
It's like, it's like, oh, this is it.
This is it right here.
You
Literally.
made it. So Nichole Smith,
Yes.
tell us who you are.
Oh wow. So I work along with AG. He's my brother, a brother in the fight. I work for a nonprofit called Voices, and I came to the nonprofit world in a very strange way. But I think that I'm blessed to be able to have my sister as the executive director. I've been her shadow my entire life, and she's a visionary. So what I do in development is just bring that vision to fruition. And I believe in my sister so much and her vision, and I believe in Voices so much that I feel that this is something that anyone could get on board with. Anyone can just take that and understand why there's so much work that needs to be done in our community, in our city, in our homes, in our family. There's just so much to be done. And I feel like she's got her finger on the pulse and how to get it done.
For sure.
That's
By the
awesome.
way, her sister was on season 1. It was
Yeah.
Kia.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You're
Shout
right.
out to shout out.
My other sister.
You know what I mean? Shout out to her.
Nonprofit's a weird world. I have a nonprofit too. It's called Struggle Made Us. But what do you think like the downfall of most nonprofits are?
I think because the people who join nonprofits or they have this kind of work that's on their heart, it's hard to not like there's so many different things you can be passionate about and that you want to help out in. It's a service oriented industry.
For
But
sure.
sometimes you have to scale it back and say, okay, what's my focus? What is our priority? Because you
sure.
can't expand and extend all kinds of resources everywhere, even though you want to, and your heart is leading you in so many different paths. But you have to stay towards the mission. But when you try to like spread yourself too thin or try to do too many things, you can lose your focus. And then when you lost your focus, all of your respective stakeholders have lost their focus as well.
That's
so it's
real.
important to just whatever that mission is, stick and work and operate within that mission, because if not, you can get lost.
Yeah, that's real.
Wow.
That's real. Nikki, what were you doing before this?
I have almost 10 years of law enforcement experience. So I was a police officer.
Wow.
Salute.
10 years.
10 years.
Salutes.
Like literally, like you put in a lot of work.
I don't think I've ever had a in-depth conversation with a police officer.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Well, I got some questions, but
I'll preface it with I'm not the international spokesperson for Black Affairs, nor am I the international spokesperson for law enforcement, but I am a conduit to bring forth whatever my ideas are. So
for sure. Oh, for sure.
That's all we want to do.
So 10 years in the field, and with you being both, you're able to kind of see kind of what's the biggest barrier between like Black people and police. Because like I'll say, like when I came up, I hated the police, but it was because of miseducation. So my dad went to prison. I automatically thought that police were just the worst because they took my dad. Until I got old enough to kind of understand the situation, then my anger for the police went to the anger for my dad, because why did you do this in order to be taken? You feel what I'm saying? So what barriers do you see?
I mean, it's a nuanced, layered conversation. There's so many different things that contribute to the disconnect between law enforcement and a lot of communities, but especially the Black community. And I think a simplistic way to say that it's communication and it's understanding. But I feel that, especially for me, like I came to law enforcement. I was a cheerleader all through high school and then wanted to do all these things. So like law enforcement, people are like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you want to be a cop? Like, why? Where's this coming from? Right. So like for me, it came from, in my youth, I had experienced something very traumatic and I felt that I was in a vulnerable space. So I never wanted to be in a position where, one, I couldn't take care of myself, and two, I wanted to be an advocate for other people.
But being a police officer, how did it affect you mentally?
I had to pause for that because there, especially in I mean, AG knows, but like the reason why I got out of law enforcement is because I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2016. So I had to put pause on that so I could go through treatment. But you know, the one thing that changed in my life significantly was like all of a sudden I'm not working midnights. I get to be home with my family. I'm not, you know, missing Christmas and Thanksgiving, because for a while there was like years where I never had a birthday, never had Christmas or anything like that because I was always working.
Wow.
But so in that respect, no, my life changed after diagnosis. Like I got to see people not working midnight shift, and you know, there's a certain level of sacrifice that goes to it, but it is what you sign up for. You sign up to serve, and it's a service. It's service to your community, and I wouldn't have changed the opportunity to serve in that capacity. I never would.
Wow. And whew, man, I try not to get emotional, but man, I really appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. And that transition. Whew.
Yeah.
So you go from transitioning to, you know, protecting and serving the community to battling a deadly disease. You know what I'm saying? Take us through that transition. Take us, like, I want the mental. Yeah, I know. I because there's something.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people, like, I know I haven't. I've never heard anybody speak on, especially like that's a from being a police officer to surviving breast cancer. Take us through that journey.
It's a different kind of battle. It was challenging because in 2016 was just like a rough year. Like everyone talks about 2020. 2016 for me was just it was hard. So I had been working and just again working midnights, and I get off work and then I go to the gym and work out because my old lieutenant, like, he was just an old Marine dude, just is like, look, if you get your butt kicked out in the street, I can't help you if you don't want to work out. Like, you need to keep up your level of fitness. So like that in the back of my mind, thinking, you know, I'm a female, I'm 5'3", I've got to keep up at least to run away, you know, like if I have to do something.
Right.
So, you know, I was working out, and my mom always used to have a placard in our shower, and just like to remind people to do their breast exam. And for whatever reason, I think it was, I don't know. I like to think that it was discernment, and it's like the Holy Spirit just saying, you need to check this out. So I did, and I ended up finding the lump myself. And long story, very short. Misdiagnosis, people saying, oh, you're young, don't worry about it. I was 29 and I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And 2 months later, my mom, Kia, and our mom passed away. And after that, it's like, okay, well, what do I do? I need to focus on treatment. I need to focus on all these surgeries and how to get better. And law enforcement wasn't that for me. So I experienced the loss of my job, my livelihood, to some extent, my identity. And my mom and everything, it hit me all at once. And then my fiance had just proposed at the time. So I'm having this conversation with him, like, you didn't sign up to be a caregiver. I can't ask this of you. So I told him, I said, I'll give you the ring back. Just because I know that I don't know what this is going to look like. And I don't want you to agree to something that when you have the rest of your life to live. And he said I was an idiot, and he married me anyway. So,
shout out to him.
Yes, sir.
Roses.
Yes, sir.
Yes. That's
Black love.
He married me anyway, and you know, September 6th of this year will be 5 years cancer free. So it's thank you.
Go ahead, muscle up on
baby.
That's how you do it.
Strong. Yeah, that way.
But mentally, it's tough. It has not been easy. And I think that I'm so blessed to be around people who have, you know, they care about self-care. They care about like mental health. And all those kinds of things, because if I hadn't had my village or my circle around me to say, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay that, you've gone through a lot of stuff, and there's going to be some tears and there's going to be some hard times, but, you just can't bottle that in. And like my church family and everybody else, I've just been blessed in that way. But has it been heavy? Yes. Have I suffered with, all kinds of bouts of depression and panic attacks? Absolutely. This is not easy by any means, but, one day at a time.
That's deep, man. So you said something about self-care. Whatever's going on, like, how do you get yourself prepared, and what's your self-love look like?
For me, it's definitely rooted in my faith, right? Like, I got to start off the day with, maybe it's a devotional, maybe it's like a worship song or something like that. I sing, so I lead worship at my church. So those kinds of things are very, very important.
Okay, we get it.
But it's and that I feel like that roots me, that grounds me, and that just without that, I think I would be. I'm a mess. So I have to have that component to my life. But outside of faith, I can tell when things are spiraling, when things aren't in order. So for me, like, if it's just taking a moment and taking it like a couple hours, and I just need to clean my house and I need to like put on some music and zone out, that I have some semblance of control over certain things, then that helps keep me grounded and keep me rooted, because I notice like lots of the chaos and noise that it just ruins everything. So I've just got to have a clean slate and then go on about my day.
So I was going to ask you to sing, but I was going to sing with you because I used to be an opera singer back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Brother used to have a little voice on him. I was in my, what year was that? I was in my 7th grade choir.
Were you?
Hey, I'm telling
you did show some pictures of that.
Hey, your boy can blow. All right, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put that out there, but if you ever want to do a duo or something, we could be the Temptations, but you can't be David Ruffin. That's me. All right. Nobody can be David Ruffin. So X down my left.
It's all good.
So how long have you been singing for?
Since I was little. And it's so crazy, like, when you say that you sing, because everybody's just like, do it. No. Like, I have like that whole nerves thing. I can sing for Jesus. I can do that.
Okay.
But I can't sing, like, and
Jesus is here.
I've done musicals and stuff like that, but it's always just been I don't know, there's no other musical person in our family. Like, I love my sister.
I'm sure Kia thinks she can sing. I'm about to say, I know Kia probably thinks she can sing now. Oh God. Oh Lord. Shout out to Kia.
Shout out to
We're gonna keep it kosher, we're gonna keep it steady.
Right. So you said musicals. What musicals?
Dream Girls and lots of community theater in and around here. I think my dream show to ever be a part of, it's going to take forever before anyone can get the rights to it, but Hamilton has like been near and dear to my heart for a long time. It's just beautiful music, beautiful show.
Yeah. So we talk about mental health. We talk about working with youth. What is something that you believe we do different at Voices than other places? And I told Brandon to pop his shit on here. I told Kia too, because everybody like, oh, we don't need to talk about ourselves. We just gonna do the work. That's what Kia is saying. But for me, I'm gonna do the work and I'm gonna put it in your face. I gotta be.
I like that.
So what do you think that we do different?
Well, I think that like with Voices, it's just it's not like a diss to anybody. I just know, like, from my experience, it's an authentic place. It's a genuine, sincere place, and I feel like anyone who has the heart to work with the youth, it has to. I mean, you have to be sincere. You have to be authentically yourself. If you come with a whole bunch of garbage or BS, it's not believable. They know you're not sincere, and they're just going to dismiss it.
For sure.
It's going to be lip service from another person. But I feel that there's so many different unique individuals at Voices that we lend our voice, and it comes from a place of authenticity. Like, when you speak, AG, everybody knows it's coming from a real place. Like, when Brandon gives his own experience, it's an authentic place. my sister, I can speak to her as a youth because I grew up with her. So I know it's very authentic. Okay.
Right, for sure.
You're right that y'all see is a reformed, wonderful, phenomenal mentor, but it wasn't always like that.
For sure.
So, we have our own unique perspectives, and it's rooted in culture. It's rooted in who we are. We don't shy away from being a Black-led nonprofit. We feel that makes us unique. And I always say that, people are saying, well, who's your competition? Whose voice is competing with? And it's not like there's another organization. Our competition is the street. It's open 24 hours a day, and it has unlimited resources. That's who we're fighting against.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic. So that's it.
Yeah. But we're authentically ourselves. We don't try to be anything other than that. And we're completely genuine about doing the work and making lasting changes, not just changes that are gonna, okay, well, we check off that box, you got this certificate and you move on. That's not how we operate. We really want to see people live their best lives, and grow and prosper and have generational wellness forever. That's what the mission is.
See, and I'm glad we able to get. Yeah, I'm glad we got to get that, because I always speak about how like special this place is, and so they got to know like it comes from the people that the team that we were able to put together. You don't find too many like us, and we real steppers. You know what I mean? Like we real steppers. We go into some of the worst situations with politicians and whoever, and we gonna stand on shit, and that's just what it's gonna be. And I'm so glad to be a part of somewhere where I can be 100% myself. I cuss, I'm ratchet, I'm loud, I wrestle with kids sometimes. They allow me to love the way I love on these kids, and that's what's important for all of us.
That's important as all time, bro. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. That goes a long way. They're gonna keep that in their hearts. They know. Oh, they know.
Yeah, they know.
They feel you genuinely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Genuinely, and that's important.
For sure.
Boy, y'all doing an amazing thing with the community. All this stuff. I need to come down there and check y'all out and see what's going on, man.
Pull up on me,
man. It's been too long, man. I haven't been in Indianapolis in a long time. But I got a question, Nikki. Can I call you Nikki? I know AG called you. Okay. This one I should say what molded you to be who you are.
I would say our upbringing, right? My mom was a fierce woman. She was strong, opinionated. She had some sayings that just like cracked me up. But she was, she struggled with mental health. So while my dad was like an amazing man, he's a wonderful, God-fearing man. My sister and I are products of divorce. So our parents divorced very early. And Kia had a hand in raising me. She's 6 years older than me. And I am like definitely the baby sister. It's very obvious that I'm the baby of the family. Yeah. And I'm proud about it. It's okay. It's fine. But
absolutely.
I think that, just having to, see a parent with mental health issues and still provide in the way that she did and put her girls through college and care the way that she did, even though she had, there was just no quit in my mom. It's like my sister. There's no quit in Kia. She doesn't know how to fail. She just knows how to keep persevering. And with my dad, I mean, he worked 38 years, did overcome so many different obstacles and dealing with racism on his job and just, still being like a man of his word and just strong and a very, very good example. I feel like that was probably the most transformative things, because had I known that I was going to live through the loss of my mother, I was going to get diagnosed with cancer, I was going to go through 2 police departments and go through those academies with, being one of, I don't know, like, I think the first one, there was 3 Black people. In the second one, there was there was 2. It was me and another, 2 other male. So it was just, all this adversity. But I feel like with our family, even though it wasn't perfect and we had lots of things that we had to overcome and deal with, there was just no quit in us. So we didn't know how to. That's good and bad, right? It's good because you keep pushing and you learn to be determined and not to give up when things get difficult. but you also can bury things, right? So there's been some of that that has come up that I've had to eventually face and deal with. And it hasn't always been easy, but I wouldn't trade our childhood and our upbringing for anything. I love my family more than they even know. And I definitely love my older sister, because she knocked me on my head a couple of times when I deserved it.
Hey, big sis, shout out to big sis over there holding it down.
Holding it down, sister. Tia sister. Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, literally, man, that's awesome.
That was awesome. Shout out to that's real love and family. Shout out to mom and dad.
The village.
Good. Absolutely. The village. So I got a challenge. So I want you to give advice or motivation to pop your shit on here. Right? I want you to talk to the little black girl right now who wants to be a police officer. Mm-hmm. I want you to talk to the young woman who is battling through breast cancer. You know what I mean? Trying to find that motivation. And now I just want you to talk to the youth. 3 separate things. Pop your shit. Go. It's like a freestyle.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, to the young person who is looking for a career in law enforcement, I would say that I encourage you. I applaud you. This career that you're choosing is not for the faint of heart, but it's so rewarding, and there's so many different things that you can do to make a difference. And you don't have to subscribe to anybody's idea of who you need to be. You just be yourself, and you'll get through the job. It's tough, but it's worth it in the end, because you are serving something that's bigger than yourself, and you get to be an advocate in your community and serve your community well. For the young breast cancer survivor, I always say that if I was the last person diagnosed with breast cancer, I would be happy. I don't want anybody to have to go through this, but if this is something that you're experiencing, you are not alone. There are a whole host of survivors that are ready and willing to pour into you, to give you strength, to give you courage, where you might not feel like you have it. It's there, but it's not a day-by-day thing. Sometimes it's a minute-by-minute thing, but just trust that you can get through it. And even on the darkest day, there's still a little bit of light. It's something that you can cling on to. To the youth and our families. Right. There's a lot of noise in the world, and there's a lot of people and things that are just telling you to live your life one way or do things a certain way. But at the end of the day, you are the person who you have to live with. You have to go to bed at night and be comfortable and confident in who that person is. So when you're making your decisions or you're leading your life, just know that you have to be accountable to yourself. And if you can look on a decision and say, this is something that I would be proud of 15 years later, or if you're looking at a decision and saying, you know what, I wouldn't be proud of that, or this isn't where I want to be, then you and only you have the ability to change that. You can be anything that you want to be, and that's real. Right. I've had to change my career like 4 times now. So
right.
You can make that pivot. You can make that change. And there's people who love you and want to see you succeed and do whatever that is. And you have a village, especially in voices, to do that.
Empowerment.
Drops mic. That's it.
Woo. Literally, man.
Yeah.
Came on here and bless the show, man, with so much peace, so much knowledge to the shout out to the women, the black women, our black women, our queens. Thank y'all. Appreciate you. We love you. We support you. We'll see you. All women.
Yeah. You know. And yeah, thank you for pulling up to our safe space and blessing us.
Thank you for having me. This is
for sure. We're gonna have you again.
I feel safe.
You know, and that's what it's about. That's how we want it.
You can feel safe.
Yeah, I feel safe. I like it.
This is another one. Brotherhood the Unveiling. Let's get it with more to come.
Let's go. Let's go.